All right, so let's just finish this up. I am on page 658. Uh, Scary title, but it's not a big deal anymore. It's really not that big of an extension. So inverse trigonometric functions, fancy name for what if you don't know the angle, but you know the value of the sine or cosine or tangent? How do you handle that? So, for example, I've given you the length of B is 8 and the length of C is 19. And if I wanted to know the cosine of the cosine of angle B, is equal to, the sine of angle B. I apologize. The sine, all right, sine is opposite over opposite. Here's the angle, opposite is right here, over hypotenuse. So that's going to be 8 divided by 19. But what's the angle? So the way we can write that is called the inverse function. And the way you write the inverse is sine, and then you put to the power, well, it's not to the power, but this is just how we write it. Sine, and then raise that to -1. That just represents inverse. On your calculator, it's second function sine. Hit the second function and then the sine and enter this in. So the second function sine of 8 all over 19 equals, the way they write it in your textbook is m for the measure of, the value of, the measure of angle B. That m stands for measures, the amount, right? The measure of angle B. I find that to be a little awkward, but to find the measure of angle B, so on your calculator, let's just rewrite that. The measure of angle B is equal to the inverse sine of 8/19. On your calculator, I don't feel like getting my document camera out. On your calculator, that second function, sine. So now see that's sine to the -1. And I'm going to use my parentheses. Use your parentheses here. 8 divided by 19, close parentheses. Press enter. It's 24.9 degrees. About 25. We'll call it 24.9. 24.9 degrees. Interesting. So 24.9 degrees. What is the value of the cosine of angle A? Here's angle A. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. The cosine of angle A is adjacent over hypotenuse. And so to find angle A, the measure of angle A, in other words, the value of angle A, I know that looks weird, is equal to the inverse cosine. The inverse cosine, sometimes referred to as the arc cosine. They don't talk about that in your textbook, but that is one of the names they give it. The inverse cosine of 8 all over 19. So let's figure that out. So I'm going to go on the calculator, second function, cosine, be sure that you're in degree mode. Use my parentheses, 8 divided by 19. So see the cosine and then to the -1, parentheses, that's just the inverse function. That's how that's expressed. 8 over 19, press enter. And I get 65-ish, 65.09. I'll round it to 60, 0.09, whatever, degrees. Nah, that's actually rounds up to 65.1. Okay. That's inverse functions, all right? And I think that is everything. If you're asked to do this to the nearest degree, that would be 65 degrees, all right? To the nearest tenth, 65.1. But anyhow, that's everything. And that's what we're doing on chapter 10, all right? That's it. Bye.